Leona, hello. How are you?
You
all right?
Thank you.
Very nice to see you. Thanks for joining me in this sort of like a nightclub that we've cleared out.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go back to the early days of your life. I understand you were always into music for a very young age, and you, around the house you were listening to things like, you know, Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. That seems almost too good to be true. Like just three really respected, credible artists. Like, if I was honest about what I was listening to, it was an absolute embarrassment. Clearly, I'm not a singer. But, I mean, were you aware that you had good musical taste as a kid?
I think I just listened to whatever my mum and dad were playing, which wasn't just those artists. I mean, I listened to a lot of Minnie Riperton and the Beatles and David Bowie and just anything my mum and dad were playing, you know, just they had good taste.
Yeah, well done, your mum and dad. And am I right in saying that your favourite album is Thriller?
It's actually...
Top three?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It has to be, right?
Oh, I think so, yeah. Your parents, with the famously good taste, sent you to the Sylvia Young Theatre School and the Italia Conti Academy. Did they recognise something in you from a very early age?
Well, the main reason was my mum was a ballet teacher, and she wanted me to do dance, and at Sylvia Young's obviously they did dance, music and drama, and my friend also went there. And so I thought she thought it was a good idea we could go to school together. After
the Italia Conti, you went to the Brit School in Croydon. Is that just like Fame, but in Croydon?
A little bit. It's got aspects of it.
And is it true that you were good friends with Katie Melly while you were there?
Yeah, I was in class with Katie.
Okay.
Yeah, and also Luke from the Coops.
Oh, from the Coops,
yeah,
sure.
So we were all in a class together, which was quite funny.
OK, I think we're going to take a quick break now.
Okay.
So just sort of take a breather, relax. Don't get too relaxed. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes. How easy a decision was it to decide to go for the X Factor?
You know, it was one of my options. I just thought I'd go for it and just see, because, you know, when opportunities come your way, you should just take them. And it just so happens that this one was my way to go, you know.
It went pretty well.
Yeah, it did.
From the start of the show, you got a good deal of support from Simon, actually.
Yes.
Which, given his reputation for, you know, maybe being a bit mean, so sometimes justified, were you surprised by that?
Obviously, it's a bit intimidating going in there and knowing that he is notorious for giving really harsh comments, but I was really pleasantly surprised, and I was glad that he was my mentor as well, because I think he's pretty much the best one to get.
Now, how would you describe your relationship with Simon? Is it more sort of like a friends thing, really?
Yeah, I think that our relationship, definitely it's a working relationship, but we've definitely become friends along the way.
And so you could just call him up and have a chat?
Yeah.
If you felt like it.
Just say, hey, how you doing? How's it going?
Yeah, weird to have that sort of relationship with him. That's good. While you're on there, you sang Without You. Are you a fan of Mariah's?
Yeah, I think she's a great vocalist.
And you have been compared vocally to Mariah, which is flattering.
Is very flattering, yeah. Very, very cool. You know, she's awesome, and she's got such an amazing range and shows a lot of passion through her voice, so it's nice to be, you know, compared to that.
When you perform with Gary Barlow on the X Factor, and Gary said that thing about, you know, you being 50 times better than anyone else they'd ever had on the show, and that, you know, Simon therefore had a responsibility to make the right record with you. How does that sort of thing make you feel, like that kind of extraordinary next level praise? That
was so cool. It was the first kind of recognition that I'd got from someone that was already in the industry and had, you know, had made a name for himself, obviously, and he's a great writer as well. So I was really happy when he said that, because I was obviously a little worried going into it from previous acts. I'd seen that they'd rushed out albums really quickly, and I knew that I didn't want to do that. And him saying that, you know, really kind of sealed it, and was like, OK, he said it on live TV now, so...
Yeah, and I've got that on tape, Simon, so...
Exactly.
Are you a Take That fan?
Yeah, I am, and definitely a huge fan of Gary as well.
What did you think of a moment like this? Because I suppose that's probably, if anything, the song that you've had least input in choosing.
It's a song to kind of remember the memory of the show, and that's what the winner's single is about.
How did it actually feel after, you know, essentially years of trying to break into the music industry to first hold that physical copy of your single?
It was very cool. I went into a record store as well and saw it there, and I was with my dad, and he got all like proud, and it was a combination of everything I'd been through, you know, all the kind of graft that I'd put in before the show and on the show.
Apparently it shifted, among those 50,000 copies in the first, it says half an hour. It seems ludicrous to me, but apparently that's right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do those sort of statistics mean anything to you? I mean, I can't even compute that, really. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, yeah, it's kind of amazing, but I don't look at statistics too much, you know.
I've got a lot of stats coming up, so
Okay.
you might want to not listen. When it came to making the video, I suppose it was the first time as well that it was just all the focus was on you rather than on, you know, previously it was duets and you kind of the framework of the show.
Well, actually, when we filmed it, I actually filmed it with two of the other contestants, because at that point they obviously didn't know who was going to win. And so it was like really, really quick.
Did you get an inkling when the other two weren't really lit very well, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first new material, I guess, that most people heard from the Spirit album was Bleeding Love. This launched you in an incredibly big way. Can you remember what you thought of it? Did it immediately grab you?
Yeah, well, I heard it with a guy singing it. It was kind of a rough idea, and yeah, I remember playing it and playing it and playing it and just loving it and just feeling it.
What was Simon's reaction when he first heard the song?
Oh, he was blown away by it. He was, yeah, going crazy. And he was like, this has to be the first thing, because at first Better in Time was going to be the first single, because Bleeding Love came in quite late, and we had planned for Better in Time, and then everything just changed at the last minute.
The video, shot in LA, pretty glamorous. The dress needs to be talked about. It's sort of like a crystal chainmail.
Exactly.
Is that easy to wear?
No, I had a lot of problems. When I took it off, like, I was scratched up, and it's really, really heavy, and so...
What sort of weight are we talking?
Oh, I don't know, but really heavy.
I read 18 kilos.
It could have been. It could have been. And the stylist was like, don't break it, because it's like, it was really expensive.
It's worth like 100 grand or something, apparently. Were you tempted to sort of just
like that.
Take the hem off and have it as a necklace?
Exactly, take a bit of it.
Yeah. They wouldn't know it's a couple of crystals, would they? Surely.
I'm sure a few fell off in the making.
Yeah.
We have been getting pretty deep under the skin. Do you want a quick breather again?
Yeah.
OK, we'll do that. You followed up Bleeding Love with a double A side, Better in Time, Footprints in the Sand.
Yes, I did.
Footprints in the Sand has got a writing credit for an S. Cal. He never wrote that.
He came up with the concept of putting the poem into a song.
OK.
And so you can get writing claim for doing that, for coming up with the concept.
I'm sure you can if you're Simon Cowell. This double A side was huge for you, but famously kept off the #1 spot by about, like, the smallest margin by Duffy's Mercy, like 200 or 300 copies or something like that. Are you a Duffy fan, or has that sort of made you like, oh God, no?
I'm a huge Duffy fan. I think she's awesome. I love Mercy. That song was really, really cool.
You can't have loved it at the time, though.
No, I did.
It's got to get your goat a bit.
I know. The only thing I was disappointed is because Footprints was a charity song for Sport Relief, and I did some work with them.
Duffy's basically stealing money from charity.
Damn her. But that's the only thing I was disappointed at. But it's a very cool song, though, and it still raised a lot of money.
You did what was, for me, quite an unlikely hookup with Akon on Forgive Me.
Yeah.
How did that come about? I mean, are you a fan of Akon's work?
Yeah, he's produced for a lot of people. I loved what he did with Gwen Stefani. I wanted to work with him, and so, yeah, we got together and came up with Forgive Me.
Given his sort of self-professed reputation, were you scared to leave your car outside the studio in case he nicked it?
I remember there being a lot of people in the studio that I was a bit scared of.
Yeah, of course. Just trying to look in anyone's eyes.
So, okay.
Just head down.
But they were all really lovely, and yeah, just really nice guys.
The video for Forgive Me is quite it's all quite American looking, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Is it hard for, you know, like an East London girl to kind of, you know, bring that sort of style to a video?
Well, it was definitely kind of acting. We wanted to do a musical-themed video, and I was in Carousel when I was younger, and so we put Carousel in there, Singing in the Rain, Fosse, and a bit of West Side Story.
West Side Story I've spotted.
Yes, exactly.
Pleased with myself.
And so it's kind of like taking on a character, almost. So it was kind of different for me, for sure.
And the first time that we'd seen you dance, really, as well, I think.
Yeah, I did a little bit of a move.
Yeah, sure, you did a little bit of a move. I didn't mind it at all.
It was fun.
Hello, I'm Rick. This is the Leona Lewis Under the Skin special. I'm not lying to you. She's sitting right there. That's not a waxwork. That is the Leona Lewis. Have you got a waxwork?
I do.
Have you? Where is it?
It's in Madden Tussauds.
Very exciting. Most artists are lucky if they have one sort of definitive recording in a career. You had that with Bleeding Love, and then you did the cover of Run, which people just went mad for. What made you choose to perform this? Because you first performed it on the Live Lounge Radio 1.
I did.
Are you a Snow Patrol fan?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the band, and I wanted to do Chasing Cars, and I spoke about it with Simon, and he said, why don't you try doing Run? And I also tried doing, I think it was the Foo Fighters' Pretender,
okay.
And I recorded all of them, and Run just kind of stood out the most. And then I did it at the Live Lounge, and people kind of wanted it to be a single, and they were like, how can we get hold of it? But we couldn't release it, and so I re-recorded it and released it.
Joe Wiley said that at the time in the Live Lounge, people were actually crying. There were actual tears.
There was, yeah.
Who was crying? Was Wiley crying?
Moved. I don't know. I think, yeah, people were really... I don't think they were expecting it. And, you know, it's such a great song, and I just performed it in a different way that it hadn't been heard before, and, yeah, they weren't expecting it, I think.
You did another quite surprising cover on X Factor in 2009, this time of Oasis, Stop Crying Your Heart Out.
Yeah.
Why that song? Was it a toss-up between that and, like, Hindu Times?
It was... I love the band, and we, again, I spoke about it with Simon, and we came up with Stop Crying Your Heart Out because it's a great song. It's got a really beautiful sentiment behind it, and I'm a big fan of like male rock bands, and I just wanted to do a different spin on it.
Any idea what Liam or Noel thought?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't spoken to them. I'd like to. I don't know if they've even heard it, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's not something you could just call up, I don't think.
No.
No, not going to have Liam or Noel on speed dial. We have been getting pretty deep under the skin. Do you want a quick breather again?
Yeah.
OK, we'll do that. So let's talk about your second album, Echo. You've done a lot more writing on this album. Was it difficult to persuade Simon Cowell to let you be more involved with the writing, because he's quite particular generally about, you know, the songs that he wants his artists to cover and the people he wants them to work with?
Simon's definitely got the same vision as I have for myself, which makes our partnership really work. Like every other songwriter, I submitted my songs in, and he listens to them, and he's like, gives his opinion, and most of the songs were my ones that we agreed would make the album, but there are also some great songs that other writers like Max Martin have written as well that just instantly I love.
Do you get nervous when you submit songs to him?
Yes, really, really nervous, and obviously I want him to just not even know it's me, and I wanted him to kind of hear it against all of the other songs. And
you should submit some songs anonymously or like under an alias.
I know,
and see if he picks it.
and see how it goes.
For the next one.
That'll be the next
Gutted
thing
if
I
he didn't pick any of them, though. You're like, yeah,
Quite
this new
upset.
guy who's writing songs, it's awful. You go, oh, OK.
I just won't tell him.
So what if it hurts me? So what if I'm freaked out?
You wrote the album's first single, Happy. For a song that's called Happy, it's quite sad.
A bit sad.
It is a little bit sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's about struggling for happiness, and, you know, having to go through different trials and tribulations and just kind of coming through it at the end. And, you know, sometimes you're going to get hurt, you're going to feel pain, but we all have to go through it. I think that I saw her.
Oh, just in the distance. Pixie!
No, literally,
Pixie!
I did.
Pixie! No?
She was in the same hotel, and I think I recognised her. But yeah, we was like in the same place, and the same director shot our videos.
The guy who's from East London, like yourself, Jake Nava, who did Crazy in Love.
He did.
Did he ever just massively name drop that, or sort of say things like, well, we didn't really do this when I was working with Beyonce?
Yeah, he's amazing. He's got such a great vision, and I think he just recently did the Single Ladies one as well. And
sure.
Yeah,
sure.
you know. And
basically, he's having it off at the moment.
Exactly, he's going great. But he did my Run video as well, so and the video for the Avatar song. So I'd worked with him quite a bit.
Is that an important thing for you to build up a rapport even with like directors of your videos as well?
Yeah, for sure, because you know their vision is what everyone is seeing, and of course I was very involved in kind of tailoring that, and it has to be someone that you really get along with, I think.
You've got to work with an incredible sort of range of artists on Echo. You co-wrote one of the songs with up-and-coming artist called Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
Yes,
well, I think it's going to do big things.
He might be, all right.
How did that come about? Did you actually like sit in a room with Justin Timberlake and write a song, or do you sort of do it over email or something?
A lot of people ask that because I guess they think that, you know, you're in two different places. But he asked me to sing at one of his shows in Vegas, and that's where I met him. And then a few weeks later, we just got in the studio together, and I actually played him Run, and he was really inspired by that. And then we wrote Don't Let Me Down.
When you've got someone like Justin singing backing vocals for you on a track, does it just feel weird when you sort of look around and go, oh, there's Timberlake.
Just backing me up.
Just backing me up.
It's amazing, yeah.
In my shadow.
And he's so like hardworking and focused, and I didn't know how he'd work, but he's so cool, and he's a very talented producer as well. So it was amazing to work with him.
Yeah. What's your favourite Timberlake track, would you say?
Probably Cry Me a River.
Yeah, that gets me.
Yeah.
That makes me well up, actually, that one.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Rick. This is the Leona Lewis Under the Skin special. I'm not lying to you. She's sitting right there. That's not a waxwork. That is the Leona Lewis. Have you got a waxwork?
I do.
Have you? Where is it?
It's in Madame Tussauds.
Very exciting. There are a few sort of rumours of collaborations that were intended for the album but didn't quite make the cut in the end. I heard that you worked with Timbaland on a tune.
With somebody like you, doing in a place like this.
I worked with Timbaland and I worked with Neo as well, but the songs just didn't really sit in the body of work that I already kind of created, so hopefully they'll be used in the future, but for this album they kind of didn't work on the whole.
Now, you've said that Coldplay were a big influence. How do you mean exactly? Because you wouldn't straight away draw parallels between your stuff and Coldplay stuff.
No, I'm just a big fan of the band, and I love what they do.
Is Chris Martin someone that you'd be interested in working with? Because he has.
Would love to.
He's worked with Nelly Furtado.
Yeah,
he's worked
he
with
has.
Jamelia.
Yeah, and I love the song that he did with Nelly Furtado. I think it's amazing.
How do you go about sorting that sort of thing out? I mean, if you say to yourself, I'd like to work with Chris Martin, do you just sort of try and get his number off someone, give him a call?
Just try and hustle for the number.
Yeah, just hustle. Go and hang around outside his house.
Exactly.
Gwyneth, it's Chris in.
I think you just kind of have to put the feelers out, and hopefully it just happens organically, you know. I think that's the best way, rather than just, I don't know, kind of getting in the studio and not even knowing each other, you know,
Now, you did the theme song to Avatar. Big film. How did you come to be involved with that?
I was asked by the writers of the song, I See You, and I'd known about the film a long time before. I'm a big movie buff, and I knew about it. I was really excited to see it before they'd even asked me. And they played me the song, and I just immediately wanted to be on board, and actually a lot of my album was inspired by movies, and I just felt this is my chance to actually be on a soundtrack. And I met James Cameron, and I worked with him, and he showed me behind the scenes of the film and how he made it. It was
so jealous.
It was awesome. Like, just again another highlight for me.
Were you tempted to say, I will do this song, but I would like a cameo? Paint me blue.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to talk about I Got You, which is the second single from your second album, Echo, and also your forthcoming stadium tour. Do you ever imagine you'd be in a position where you'd be talking about doing a stadium tour, having your second single from your second album? I mean, it's good to be Leona Lewis right now, right?
Yeah, I've definitely thought about it, and it's definitely been something I've always wanted to do. Whether it became a reality was, I didn't know, but now it has, and yeah, it's incredible. I feel very lucky.
Tell me a bit about I Got You then. What about this said, big single for 2010 for me?
I think it definitely, it has, I know, I think it's just a Leona song, and it's definitely something that a lot of people can relate to, a lot of people can connect to, you know, a relationship kind of coming to an end, and I think it's very anthemic, and I think people will enjoy it.
Do you have a clear idea in your head of what is a Leona song and what is not a Leona song?
I do, yeah.
Sort of sit there and go, no, yeah, that's me, no, yes.
I think you have to. You have to know kind of what speaks to you and what connects with you and how you can bring out the best and really connect with people.
Just quickly before I let you go, what's next for you after the tour?
So the tour, and then I'm going to be working on another album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's really nice talking to you there.
Thank you so much. Thank you.